Okay, people are joining. I think that Marisa, we can start.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to this webinar about social media. I wanna share with you my excitation, my happiness, because this is the first webinar led by the IM committee, and we are working for our members, and we wanted to start our series of webinars with social media because it's our new way of communication. Right, in the past, the social media started like a way to share your social with other people, but now more and more is a way to spread scientific content, is a way to spread the events where you go, or how much interesting is a paper that you read, is a way to share your concerns or your experiences or your clinical practice, is a way to give advices to the others. And I think nowadays social media plays an important role in education, and especially in the scientific societies, is arriving to us as a revolution, as a big opportunity to connect between us and to establish a good networking that can help us a lot in our clinical practice and to provide our healthcare to our patients. And I think it's a fantastic topic to discuss with our members. And from the IM committee, it came this idea of having a webinar, our first webinar on social media, after spreading a survey between our members in the EANS about how they use it, how much they like it, how they would like us to use it. And this is the objective today, to share with you the results of the survey, the opinion of renowned experts on the field, and also the advices of experts that are not neurosurgeons, that are really technical experts on the field. And I hope I want to engage you, encourage you to interact, to send the questions, to ask, and to because this is more than in any other webinar. This is a webinar to connect with the others. So please text your questions, or ask to be up in the panel if you have something important to say, because we want to discuss with our members and also beyond the borders of our membership, how you use and what you think about social media in scientific societies. And I don't want to take more time, because the next speakers are gonna be fabulous. So I'll let you start.
Okay, thank you very much, Marisa. We are very, very excited to be here with you, dear attendees. And in order not to waste too much of your time, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Naif Alotaibi. He had a huge working and publishing experience on social media, and he will deal with the current and potential future use of social media in neurosurgery. Please, Naif.
Thank you for the invitation, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. Is it seen by everyone now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So
although I see the next slide, Naif, so perhaps you would like to change the display setting.
Sorry about that. That's perfect now.
No, nothing changed yet.
Okay. I should have checked that.
In the meantime, I want to remember to all the attendees to post their questions in the Q&A button and not in the chat.
Now.
How about now? If I
Yeah.
did the...
Thank you, Naif.
That's fine. No.
Now it's back. Is this...
Okay, okay, that's great.
Perfect. Okay. We should have done that in the practice session. So I'm going to be talking about social media and neurosurgery and my 10-year journey. I'm a neurosurgery consultant at King Fahd Medical City in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. My training was all in North America, in Toronto and in Boston for endovascular training. But the inspiration and the influence was actually European. So during my med school, my electives in neurosurgery was in Germany with Dr. Majid Sami and at the Mayo Clinic with Dr. Giuseppe Lanzino. So there was a European influence and inspiration to pursue neurosurgery. Fun fact for me, so you can understand why I got interested in social media. During med school, I was a movie TV critic at national newspapers and also worked as a screenplay playwriter for a major media network here in Saudi Arabia. And then I did also a creative social media campaign at national level for organ donation, where I used all the celebrities that I worked with in TV shows. And then I started realizing like there's a global social network use that is increasing, and also social media papers are increasing. Why I just don't get involved with social media. So when I joined Toronto in my first year of residency, I was doing non-neurosurgical rotation. I had emergency medicine and general surgery, and I had time to contribute to a TEDx UFT event. That was the first TEDx UFT event, and my responsibility was to manage the social media accounts for them. It gave me a bit of insights of what is engagement and what is reach. That picture actually for Jordan Peterson there, he was one of the speakers at the meeting before he becomes super famous now. And then after that experience, I went to my chairman, Dr. Lozano, and I said, I think we should be involved in social media. I do believe that it's going to be a major thing in neurosurgery. And that was in 2013, where we established our own account for Toronto. And also we did a WordPress blog for the half academic day that we do on weekly basis, the Brain School. So I'll be talking about my research, what we have done, and then the media and marketing experience, the lesson learned, and the future. So for research, my first paper was, we started working on it in 2015, and we got it published in 2016, which was the current use of social media in neurosurgery. And I think it's the first paper that mentioned social media in neurosurgery. And that was a cross-sectional analysis of utilization of social media in neurosurgery. We basically collected all department accounts, all journals, a massive screening that we have done on social media for neurosurgery, and we compared them with bibliometric profiles. At that time, number of departments among North America was 21 only. Right now, it's more than 100. And after publishing that paper, we received 3 editorials from the journal, and all of them giving us like very positive feedback about the cross-sectional analysis for that. And one of them was from Dr. Hunt Pager, who was the president of AANS that time. So we got interested, me and the resident, in continuing doing these studies, and we had a benchmark, which was the Mayo Clinic social media network. They have done a lot of analysis like that. And we developed a list of specific aims of what do we want to achieve with that type of research. So we want to evaluate communications. We want to examine online traffic metrics. We want to look for epidemiological research questions, explore these tools in education, examine visual media, and also analyze the predictors of reach and engagements in social media. And with that list of specific aims, you're going to be working with a lot of tools on how to extract that big data, how to analyze them, and how to process them. Because it's a science of dealing with that type of analytics. So we published almost on every topic in neurosurgery, quantitative and qualitative analysis and epilepsy, pediatric hydrocephalus. My master in the surgeon sciences program in brain aneurysm. So I did one also for the brain aneurysm and subarachnoid hemorrhage. We looked also at studying behavior among the neurosurgery residents using our brainschool.net website, where we monitored the number of clicks by the residents on the lectures. And we noticed, of course, like any neurosurgery residents, they click on the lectures just before the exam week. And we looked at the topics that are most clicked. And then we collaborated with Dr. Aaron Cohen, where we got the data from the Neurosurgical Atlas, and also we examined the online metrics for his website, and we published that in the Journal of Surgical Education. And also at the same time, during that rise of social media, brain surgery was a hot topic in social media and also in pop culture. So we also examined YouTube as a source of information on neurosurgery, and we categorized all the videos that we found all over the past years on neurosurgery, a complete analysis that we've done, published in World Surgery. And then after a few years of establishing the account for UFT neurosurgery, we looked at our metrics, and we looked at what type of posts were highly trending, and we looked at the timing effect also on the post, and we looked at impression engagements, and that gave me a lot of insight for my upcoming marketing project. And also, Almetrics right now is a new citation metric that is used for citations on social media, and we also examine neurosurgical articles utilizing the Almetric scores. So that type of research boosted my academic profile in a very short time. The beauty of this type of research, and I'm encouraging residents to be engaged and students to be engaged with it, there is actually no IRB needed because the data is publicly available, and data is already out there. And they are the perfect projects to learn stats and how to deal with big data. And you can explore any topic in neurosurgery or even in medicine. And it's perfect for virtual research collaboration also. So after doing all these research analytics studies, I decided to go with my first marketing experience using social media, which was with the Journal of Neurosurgery. And the reason that I did that, during my paper, I was seeing the JNS was not one of the top journals in terms of social media metrics. And I decided to go in and do an aggressive social media campaign for them. And the concept, or the creative concept for that campaign, is that the journal is not just about latest in neurosurgery. The JNS was born to bring the field together. So we created a whole list of posts that we can post on the JNS online first, which was the head of print articles. We look at the JNS classics, operative videos, free articles, looking at the JNS history, historical vignettes. And then we created also an educational post on the JNS. And this is an example of the post that we created. And if you notice that we were using a lot of media materials, because we found in previous analysis that posting with media materials lead to higher engagement and sharing. And I was doing that at the beginning as a solo manager, and then all of a sudden everyone got interested in that project, and I had like 4 editors from great North American programs, and Faith Robertson from Mass General right now, she is the social media manager after me. That time there was no verification by Twitter, so we added, even in our profile picture, the JNS logo to the profile picture to show that we are in the middle of the campaign. And within very short time, JNS was able to be the #1 neurosurgical journal in total social media users. We had impressions more than 1 million. We were the #1 neurosurgical journal on weekly Facebook. And we were the first journal to adopt the visual abstract format, like the New England. And you can see the effect of the social media plan. Like before we started, there was only 2,000 link clicks. But after the social media plan, we went to 170,000 link clicks. And looking at also at Almetrics, we saw amazing impact on Almetrics. 19 of the top 20 articles for neurosurgery were all for the JNS. They were highly trending because we were aggressive in posting them. So we published the whole plan. We published all the results. And this is a project that I'm very proud of because it was done in a prospective fashion. All the data were collected in a prospective way. And we published everything in the JMIR journal. And actually, it has a higher impact factor than the JNS. So that's an achievement to go higher than the journal that you're working on. And also another honor is that Dr. Rutka, who's the editor-in-chief, recognized our efforts in his 75th anniversary, and also had a screenshot of the Instagram account that we established also. So research, education, and marketing, what are the lesson learned? The number one lesson is know your target audience. This is very important. Every social media platform is different. So in Instagram, you're dealing with much younger audience. So we were focusing on educational content on Instagram when we started, striking photos, great operative videos, but nothing really like meta-analysis results. It's not interesting in Instagram. It's more interesting on Twitter, for example. Always take a pause and analyze. So always review your metrics. So when we reviewed our metrics in the first round of analysis, we found out that actually the educational material were highly trending. So we collaborated with the Neurosurgical Atlas, and I called Dr. Aaron Cohen so we can start posting the Atlas materials through the JNS accounts, and that helped us to boost that campaign. The other lesson also, social media is now peer-reviewed, and you have to remember that. There's a difference between trend and impact. So a lot of things that are going trending on social media, some of them are not trending, some of them are highly trending, but they don't have any impact. For example, in neurosurgery, like the story of the brain transplantation went completely viral on all over the news and everything. But what's the impact of that? Because it wasn't like approved by an association or organization. So it had zero almost impact. So if someone is asking me, like I want to establish a social media account for a journal and I want 1 million viewers, 1 million followers, I'm going to tell him, you don't need 1 million followers. The audience of neurosurgery does not reach 1 million. So you need a group of followers that are dedicated and loyal to you, and they follow you and they understand your language. That's what you want to focus on. So you don't need to use bots or any other spam accounts so you can increase your following number. And if you increase your following number using bots or spam accounts, you're actually not going to have a meaningful analysis of results. The other thing about doing social media campaign is that the timing matters. So when we started the JNS, Dr. Rutka was recently appointed as the editor-in-chief. He started a strategic plan. Also in 2019, there was a celebration for 75 years passing since the foundation of the JNS. And that also boosted our social media campaign. So the way I think about it is that every time we think about neurosurgery, we look at the pre-op diagnosis, indication, risks versus benefits. What are the outcomes? Same thing when you deal with social media. What's your target? Why do you want to do this? What are the risks versus benefits? And what are the outcomes you want to achieve? And that helps you to determine your audience, choose the platform, create the content, and then implement it to get a very successful campaign and results. So what is the future? The future is going to be integration of AI, and this is what's happening right now. So with AI right now, we can do emotion and sentiment analysis, we can do NLP, we can integrate augmented reality, virtual reality, and a lot of things that can be done. And most of the concern is going to be there will be an increase of unverified, not peer-reviewed content. So Leroy came, who is a resident at McGill University. I know him since he was in med school, and he was with me in a lot of publication. And over the last year, we got lots of publication utilizing AI to do these social media analytics studies. And this time, because the audience got bigger, we were able to go into specific topics. So for example, microvascular decompression. In 2016, we were not able to do that project because the audience was little. But in 2024, 2023, there is a much bigger audience and neurosurgery joining social media. So we were able to do these advanced topics. And we were doing NLP or sentiment analysis to get a sense of what are the results or the feedback from the patients and even the neurosurgeons themselves about certain procedures like DBS for children or glioblastoma that we did. So at the end, I want to thank, of course, Dr. Jim Rudka, who is my mentor for that, and also the family in Toronto. And as you know, social media have a good and bad and ugly side. I talked about the good things, but there are also bad and ugly things. Maybe we talk about it in discussion. And also with AI and the high flow of information, I think one of the main concern is going to be like your well-being and wellness in following these massive number of accounts and information. And that's a summary of my talk.
Thank you, Naif. So for your amazing talk. I think this reinforces the continuous debate we have in the IM committee that social media have a very high impact in the clinical practice and in the scientific education of our membership, and that if you reach to prepare the correct social media planning, you can target your audience and you can spread your mission and vision, and you are a very, very powerful tool to spread scientific content. If you agree, we can continue and we can do all the questions at the end of the webinar. Then we can have everything together. I'm very happy to present. Say again? Fine? Okay. I'm very happy to present the next speaker. Alessandro Carreta is one of our youngest members in the IM committee, and as a chair, I'm very happy about the work he's doing with Giorgio Palandri. They both conducted and lead the working group related to social media in our committee, and they conducted the European survey that gave us some metrics and some analysis to know better our audience and to plan the following steps of our social media plan in the society. So Alessandro is going to present the results of the survey, and we can discuss about that later on.
Sure. Thank you very much, Marisa, for your kind presentation. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. I'm going to share my screen and my presentation. And yeah, that's basically the work we did. We performed with all of the EM committee this survey concerning social media use among European neurosurgeons. First of all, we have to say that this topic was previously investigated by EANS only a few years ago, in 2022, stating the lower utilization of social media among neurosurgeons in Europe when compared to North America, underlining also its usefulness for example, improving research work and citation and boost academic results. And they concluded also pointing out that a survey was mandatory to properly investigate the social media use among the neurosurgeons in Europe. The landscape of social media is heterogeneous and diversified, with different social media platforms designed and used for different aims, for example, to share professional achievements and skills, to share pictures, or even to share short opinions, for example, Twitter or X. Therefore, we designed this 36 items survey trying to cover the broad spectrum of the relationship between neurosurgeons and social networks. We ran it through SurveyMonkey, and it was shared through EANS mailing list and EANS social media accounts. The survey was further reposted by the colleagues and social media users. The investigated social media were diversified, starting from Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter and X, and LinkedIn, and others. Going to the results, we got 242 answers from a heterogeneous audience. 70% of them were EANS members with a very heterogeneous composition of age ranges. 25% of them were females. And you have observed an equality almost between junior and junior position, for example, students, residents, and junior consultants, and the so-called senior position, for example, senior consultant and head of department. The largest part of them, more than 80%, were working in large hospital, either academic or non-academic referral centers. Investigating the composition and the geographical origin of the answers of the survey, we observed that 76% of them came from Europe, and 25%, almost 25%, from outside European countries, and then can be hypothesized as a boosted a little bit by social media reposting from users that helped the survey to get in touch with extra-European colleagues. And analyzing the European origin of the answer, we can see a very heterogeneous and complete origin of all the answers. Further on, we investigated which social media platforms were professionally used and deemed the most trustworthy and important. We put a little bit aside WhatsApp, for example, because by design, it's used most of all for personal one-to-one communication or group communication, and it's not maybe a social media network platform in the proper sense. And we observed that the most used, aside from WhatsApp, is LinkedIn. Further on, which are very important findings, that LinkedIn is deemed as the most trustworthy, with a significant advantage when compared to the other platforms. Similarly, also the social media account of the EANS most followed was LinkedIn as well. This is also consistent with previous literature reports that showed that LinkedIn is maybe the most used, probably the most used social media platform for professional use between neurosurgeon and I can imagine between medical professionals, probably due to his very own design, which is focused properly on sharing professional skills, achievement, and professional material. Again, we asked to our colleagues which was their opinion about the impact and the significativity of the impact of social media on different aspects of neurosurgical clinical practice. And we identified 11 items. We observed anyway that a significant and positive impact was deemed significant by the colleagues only in 4 aspects of our practice, namely in discovering new opportunities, in keeping updated on Congress courses, lecture events, on keeping updated in newly published literature and trends, and in sharing other people's research. These were the 4 deemed most important aspects impacted by the social media presence. And this, we can imagine then the social media in neurosurgical practice as composed by a very broad audience of people who and colleagues who want to be informed and updated about the latest news, research, trends, and a smaller number of subjects. We can think about institution, publishing groups, journals, obviously scientific societies like EANS, providing them the social media contents. In the past, other studies investigating the role of social media in our practice also observed a difference in the rating of social media impact between younger and older neurosurgeon subcohorts, with younger people having averagely a more favorable opinion about the impact of social network. And so in our survey, we stratified a little in a little different way, and we tried to compare the senior positions with the junior positions about their opinion on the impact of the different aspects of our practice. And the results were interesting. We observed that analyzing judging the impact of social media on patient care, junior position have a significant more favorable opinion when compared to their senior colleagues. As well, this significancy and the more favorable opinion by junior colleagues was observed as well in discovering new opportunities, like call for abstract and job positions, in keeping updated on Congress and events, in keeping updated in newly published literature and trends, and also in sharing other people's research and keeping updated. When further on, we analyzed the behavior of the colleagues when using social media. And we observed that more or less two-thirds of us don't have separate accounts for professional and personal use. And the largest part of us, almost 75%, post, including sharing and resharing other contents, monthly or less often, or even never. And of those posts, in the largest part, only less than 50% are concerning neurosurgical topics. I think that another important finding is also that these posts are mainly aimed to the colleagues, not to the institution, not to friends, and not to patients. Going on and analyzing the impact of EANS, proper EANS social media accounts and social media presence, we observed that the context most appreciated by the audience of neurosurgeons are the webinars. And in the second place, the news about future events, Congress, courses, and so on, and the literature selected by the editor's choice posts. Again, reflecting also the previously observed attitude, even EANS social media content are reposted by the users most times, rarely to never. And I think that we think that these findings could probably reflect, at least in between neurosurgeon and neurosurgical practice, a shift of paradigm and vision about the social media network and social media presence. A few years ago, I can imagine, as we could imagine, and social networks as like the ancient Greek agora, a place where everyone could express, share, and discuss their opinions. But social media nowadays can look more like an information board where most people gather around and use that to be informed and updated by a small number of subjects. To conclude and to sum up our most important finding, we can say another time that social media are considered by the audience, by colleagues, as a very effective way to be informed and updated. And LinkedIn could be judged as the most diffused social media network for professional use, and it is deemed as to be as the most trustworthy. And as expectable and in line with previous reports, the impact of social media, even for European neurosurgeon, is generally regarded as more significant by junior colleagues when compared to senior neurosurgeons. And obviously, we are open and eager to hear your suggestions to on what we can improve as a EANS our social media presence, and on what we can invest on. The ideas, every idea matters to improve our presence and our impact on the social media and between colleagues. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. So what do you think, Marisa? Do we have time for one or two comments and questions or not? Or
Yeah,
do we discuss everything at the end?
I thought of it at the end, but there are 3 questions here in the chat. Maybe we can discuss at least these questions, right?
Yeah. Exactly. For example, I see here a comment from Corrado Iaccarino. Unexpected data about LinkedIn and interesting data about the value of social media as updating tool. Big responsibility about the quality of message through the social media. These are both from Corrado Iaccarino. And then we have another question, but maybe Alessandro, you want to comment a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Corrado, for your observation. And yeah, LinkedIn was actually very interesting finding when we were setting up the presentation and commenting the results. And yeah, I think that it's sometimes unexpected, but I think that it can be explained by the very design of LinkedIn. This was this webinar was aimed to a large number of colleagues. I can imagine that a large number of colleagues don't have social media platforms, part of them for personal reasons, but they use only for professional reasons, and maybe LinkedIn is seen as the most trustworthy and important for its own very design, which is most professionally focused. And yeah, another very important topic is about the quality of our data and of our posts. This is also, it was very well underlined by Naif a few minutes before, that something trending, something true, something viral or diffuse is not true. Is not true in the 100% of times. And yeah, I think probably that should be very a task of the subject of the most followed subject on social media concerning neurosurgical practice, as publishing journals and societies, to watch over and to invest on the quality and of the content, to be sure that the internet and the social media landscape is trustworthy and useful for every one of us.
Can I comment? So I think Corrado is right that it's a big responsibility, especially if you are not sending the message as a personal, as individual, you are sending the message as a society or as a group of people. And I think the fact is very relevant in the survey, that the fact that people use social media to be informed by events, publications, and it's like they look for something that is it's trustable, you see, because it's something that is already published. They look for the paper that at the end is published in any relevant journal, right? Or they look for the event that at the end is endorsed by a society. So my conclusion after the survey is that our members look for a platform that they rely on and look for information that is already confirmed true. And for me, it's quite surprising. I want to ask Naif that because YouTube is for me quite reliable, especially if you want to see techniques or videos. And for me, it's quite relevant that in the survey, YouTube is not, they don't rely on YouTube. And I don't know if you find the same in your previous survey. That's my question. If you find the same, this is European survey, right? Maybe it's different in the States or in any other.
I mean, exactly. I mean, also social media reflects also socio-economic differences between each organization. So, for example, YouTube probably popular for operative videos because the Neurosurgical Atlas and the JNS always post their videos. They have their own YouTube channels. The second thing is that also I'm gonna go to the point that I highlighted is that what is the target for those who wants to join social media or develop an initiative? Like LinkedIn is mainly a social platform for like professional development, career advice, things like that. Twitter is more like a jungle, like everything is there. And it's like right now with Elon Musk taking over, it becomes a bigger jungle also. And then if you go to Instagram, you'll see more education, more like anatomy videos, more student and junior residents material, inspiration, motivation. And right now, TikTok is coming up. Like TikTok is rising in a big way because video content, as we have shown in our analysis, it tends to be shared more than even text and communications. For example, here in Saudi, also the hospital or the healthcare system also plays a role. Like when we did the U of T Toronto social media accounts, the Canadian system is government-based, so you don't need to promote your practice. Like you can promote your research and activities, but you actually don't need to promote like clinical care services because the patients will come to you through government system. In US, you go, no, it's completely the opposite. Like you have to promote your clinical practice, and that's why they do patient story, newsletters. They're more active on that aspect. Europe, it's something that I haven't entered, to be honest. I don't know, like I think there are differences between the countries. Here in the Middle East, for me, for example, in Saudi, I don't need to promote my clinical practice. Like the patient's referral comes to me from government hospital. So I'm in a tertiary hospital, endovascular. I don't need to do like a promo video for my practice because the patient needs to go to primary center, secondary center, then I will get the referral. It's not like a direct patient entry to be treated for an aneurysm. So it depends. So I'm using my Twitter account for me for academic and career development and things like that.
So we can conclude that in some regions, the marketing use of social media could be more important to them than in other societies, right? Yeah. And there is a question from Atta Bhatti that basically, in summary, because it's a big question, why she is pointing out she's resident and she or he is just telling that sometimes has the impression that the number of publications, also in journals, is more important than the quality of the in-depth original work. And this is also happening in social media. I think that opens the debate that you say between trend and impact. But it's just a comment. It's just a comment. Which is your advice to residents for keeping a balance, Naif and Alessandro? So basically, it's pointing out the numbers in comparison with the quality. So trends versus impact. And what's your advice for the residents on that? keep the balance? This is the question.
I mean, again, like it really depends on your goal. Like for me, when I follow neurosurgical accounts, I want to follow them just to see what are the updates, it's much easier for me to go on Twitter and see like the latest article from the Red Journal, from the JNS, instead of like going to every website, the endovascular, the same thing. I follow certain key, key figures that, their opinion matters to me in terms of clinical care. So for a resident, like you have to customize your timeline. Like, what do you want to see? What do you want to watch? And you have that ability. Like you want to get education, so follow educational accounts. You want to follow like the latest in startup companies and medical devices, you can follow that. So have a focused also following, because you also, one of the main issues, there's a lot of accounts, there are a lot of content. So create your own customized that matters to you. If you have a research interest in certain topic, follow the people that have that certain research topic. And that's how you balance, not like following everyone, or you're going to be lost in social media.
Yeah,
Focus on your interest. Totally agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I totally agree with Naif. As a neurosurgeons and residents as well, we should customize and select our choice of social media accounts, so don't get lost in the jungle. The jungle is very wide, and you have to customize very high impact accounts, selected accounts with high quality publication, opinion makers, neurosurgical societies that can be useful to be updated on events. I can just, a short example, every one of us and me, a few weeks ago, I was writing down an abstract for a Congress and I was hurrying to get the deadline, and looking on the social media account of the Congress, I discovered that the deadline was extended by 7 days, and that was very useful for me. And I think that this happened to every one of us looking to social media sometimes. And yeah, just customize the research, the clinical and research interesting topic for every resident and every colleague. That's the way to don't get distracted and keep the focus on this.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
We can
Thank you very
continue
much.
if you want, and thereafter we do the questions, right?
Yeah, maybe we are running a little bit late with time. This is very interesting, but it's my pleasure to introduce you to Maria Canziari. She is a person and a professional too often too much behind the scene, behind the curtains, but it was our pleasure to involve her as a professional in this meeting, and we are really eagerly looking forward to your presentation, Maria. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Marisa. It is an honor being with you, and thank you for inviting me. So let's start. I hope that you can see my now. So right from the start of my role,
Maria, sorry, if you could just put a slideshow, that would be great.
Oh,
Fantastic. Perfect. Thank you.
So right from the start of my role as a EANS communication manager at the EANS, that I discovered, I had discovered that the tremendous dynamic of the EANS as an association, having a strong community and producing excellent work. In this way, I was empowered to create meaningful and impactful content in social media. So it was not very difficult, let's say. It was challenging, of course, but not easy. I will start with a brief presentation of the current status of social media at the EANS, and afterwards I will share some facts, some, I hope, useful facts and interesting and tips for utilizing social media. So here we are. EANS has account in Facebook platform, X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Facebook has reached 6,700 followers, X, formerly Twitter, 2,000, LinkedIn 9,500 followers, Instagram 3,000, and YouTube 3,800. EANS LinkedIn had actually had an increase of 63% of increase in the past year, which is quite impressive. If you consider also that LinkedIn has been very popular in the recent years in the professional world. YouTube had also a 73% of increase, and this is due to the traffic that we have in our channel through our promo videos and of course our successful webinars. Let's go to review some analytics. Let's say throughout 2023, Facebook, we had reached 47,600 accounts. I will not bother you with many details. On the other hand, Twitter, Twitter in 2029, we had a problem. It was hacked, and so we had to create it from scratch. We had 6,000 followers. Now we have 2,000. And X is the primary social platform for plain text posts, which is impressive if you think about it. Now we have thresholds where we reach almost 2,000 accounts. Our most recent post on the IAM webinar, it is our IAM webinar social media, and we had 7,000 impressions and 140 total engagements. And of course, this has helped. It was supported by sharing through the IAM delegates and of course the panelists. EANS LinkedIn. It is a very powerful tool for neurosurgeons. It is very popular. Yes, we have reached 9,000 followers, and we can see how the impressions throughout the year of 2023, and we have the top locations. The top 5 locations is London, Istanbul area, Milan, Brussels, and New York, and the Randstad. So we do not have only Europe, of course. And this can be, if it is compared also to our newsletters that we send, it is very interesting to analyze this data and help us understand how and who we're communicating to. Now, Instagram. Instagram throughout 2023, we reached 11,700 accounts, less than Facebook, but it is a very recent account, as LinkedIn, because LinkedIn and Instagram were created on 2019. So from zero, it is a very good, we have very good engagement rate with, of course, with youngsters. And our EANS Young Neurosurgeons Committee is very active and very supporting. So through collaboration, we reach a certain amount of accounts. Now, on YouTube, of course, our YouTube, as it has very good content, I would say, with videos of our promo videos, but of course the webinars, it is the most recent successful project of EANS. We have managed to see a 73% increase in subscribers. Now, some interesting facts that are quite general. They are not only for neurosurgeons, but I think that it is good to have them in mind. As of 2023, in 2023, the global social media user count reached 4.89 billion. So that's more than half of the entire population of Earth. Facebook continues to be the most popular social media platform. And we have the largest age group, 25 to 34, and number of monthly active users, 3 billion. So Instagram, the platform's growth remains steady despite a slowdown in recent years. We know with Reels and Stories. Of course, TikTok is now very popular, but I'm not mentioning TikTok because at least from our survey, we didn't see a lot of engagement with TikTok. The platform's growth also remains steady. Number of monthly active users, we have 2 billion, and the largest age group is 18 to 24. So we see a lot more younger people. But of course, as I said, the EANS the young neurosurgeons are very active and maybe elder than 24. So about X, we all know after Elon Musk, we have the branding to X. The platform saw a 13% decline in daily active users during the first year. This has affected a lot of accounts, individual accounts. I know a lot of people that said that I'm not going to bother with X anymore because you have to pay some. Number of monthly active users up to now, it is 368 million currently, and largest age group is 25 to 34. YouTube is the most used social media among Generation Z. Of course, they prefer videos, they prefer to watch how something is done, useful video vlogs, I would say. And the number of monthly active users is 2,491 billion. Largest age group, 25 to 34. And now, LinkedIn. Of course, the ideal tool for a B2B content. As we saw also from our survey, number of members, 1 billion, and largest age group, 25 to 34. I will share now some tips, let's say, that are a bit general for whoever, even if we have a beginner, could follow in order to get more involved and succeed in having more meaningful and impactful content in social media. Of course, Naif has already said it. Very important to identify our network, our audience, actually. So who do we want to reach out to? We have to understand what platforms are these people are on. So if my network, if my clients, if I'm a clinical neurosurgeon and I want to get access to my clients, I would like to my patients, I would need to know the platforms that they use. So what content do they engage with? We have to do a little research and try to be active in those. Create relevant, shareable, and compelling content. This is always the case to ensure our post is relevant and interesting to our target audience. And of course, craft compelling content that connects with our audience. Now, why not add some humor when it is appropriate? For example, a day of neurosurgery. That is interesting to watch. And of course, why not use memes, which are quite funny and easy to digest? Of course, very, very important. As Naif said, timing matters. Timing is very important. So even if we have the best content, we should know when to post it. So we have to figure out when it is the right time to make a post. Time is important. Visuals. Visual content tends to perform better on social media by 98%. Quality images, videos, and graphics to attract people's attention. Go live. Yes, this is very powerful. Live is the new trend. Live broadcasts usually see 24 times more engagement than pre-taped videos, helping to form instant connections with the audience. Use hashtags, for example, EANS 2024. Of course, don't go too much with that because hashtags are good if they are 4 to 5, but not more, not exaggerated. because the algorithm then may think that you are a troll. Be authentic. Being authentic is the best thing that an individual or an association can do, because people respect when they encounter authentic content. Ask questions, use polls, quizzes, maybe games, maybe competitions to interact and gain attention and attract more attention. Of course, check your engagement and view analytics. I will use the same phrase that Nate said, take a pause and analyze. This is so important because then you might reconsider and adjust your strategy, adjust your pause, see what it works and what it doesn't. Of course, explore trends, try to make the best use of them, but of course, again, do not exaggerate. As we said, it is important to keep a balance. What is more important, to have more followers or to follow a trend rather than being your content of high quality? Of course, you need a balance to keep a balance. Engage. Social media is always about engaging. And based on the IM social media survey that we heard, these are the main reasons that neurosurgeons use the social media for. We said that it is networking and communicating with other colleagues. So upload some captions from your daily life as a neurosurgeon. Relate interesting stories from work and make contact, why not, via direct messaging. We said that it is important they use the social media for so that to keep updated on congresses and events. Then be active and engage, like, comment, and share important scientific meetings and events on your interest. Discovering or sharing new techniques and freshly published research. So you have to show your new research, showcase a new technique, share journals, editor's choice. Why not? Academic education purposes. Inform about your lecture, share outstanding keynote speeches, and of course, discover opportunities. So look for call for abstracts and share this kind of content in order for others to be interested in your post, to comment, and don't forget to respond to their comments. So, as per data and reports, posts with images receive 98% more comments than those with plain text. We said that X is the primary platform for plain text, but don't forget to use also video. Collaborate with your network, invite them to be collaborators. For Instagram, use short videos and make good use of AI, of course. Now we have a lot of tools, AI tools, that could be considered in order to have, for example, to have our text proofread, or if we want a video or image, we can do everything with AI. And of course, do not forget, please, to share. Is the most powerful thing to do if you want to disseminate news, if you want to disseminate and reach out to people, you have to share. So some examples that pictures stand out. If you have good content, high quality content, if you have 3 to 4 pictures, perform better always. If you have pictures that are compelling and appealing, you want to show the diversity, you want pictures that are relevant, that people will see themselves and their colleagues, so they will interact. I can see that daily with our posts as an association. And of course, pictures that tell their own story. Some things only for Reels, some useful tips that Reels have to be entertaining, engaging, of course. Why not a neurosurgeon to inspire and start a trend? as we very often see. Use creative tools like text filters, camera effects, and use vertical video when you can, of course, because the horizontal is not so, it doesn't work so well. To add music from the library, the library, Facebook, Instagram library, or you can add your own music. Experiment, of course, with different approaches and use good lighting for videos. Now, we said about the time that is very important. So best times to post. This is an insight from insider information from EANS, because we have our platform that can see when our followers are active. So I'm suggesting times that are taken from an analytics now. Best time to post on Facebook from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. and most importantly, and very good time, it is from 8 to 10 p.m. Best time to post on Instagram, 2 to 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., except from Saturdays that people choose to go out. Best time to post on LinkedIn from 9 to 5. Best time to post on YouTube, 3 to 4 on Fridays. Interesting to see that. Best time to post on X Twitter, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday. Our people are more active on Monday and Tuesday. So even with a post that's current, highly relevant and engaging, if you don't upload it right, on the right time, it won't bring in the required results. So don't forget to get social with EANS Online, comment online, connect, like, comment, and most importantly, share. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria. Only
Thank you
two
very
comments.
much.
So thank you for letting us know that LinkedIn is during work and Instagram is after work. This is the conclusion of the last slide, no? Don't publish in Instagram in the morning.
Yeah.
Because that means you are not working or something like that. No, I just want to congratulate you for the presentation and also for the astonishing statistics, analytics that you show. It's very clear that the engagement of our members is getting up, and this is thanks to the work that you do and with the collaboration of all the other members and the young neurosurgeons and sections in social media. If you agree, we continue with the next speaker. We say 60% of our followers, of the audience, are under 34, right? So who know better than our audience how to do and what we do and what we should do in social media? So the next speaker is my successor as a chair of the Young Neurosurgeons Committee in the EANS. He's Giovanni Raffa from Sicily, from Italy, and he's going to talk about our young members and our young social media users. Thank you, Giovanni, for accepting the invitation.
Thank you, Marisa. Thank you, Giorgio. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today. I'm starting sharing my screen. Okay. So I will talk about the role of social media networks and platform with the eyes of the EANS Young Neurosurgeons Committee. So if you think about that, probably young users of social media are looking especially for advertisement about educational training activities for them. So from this point of view, the EANS Young Neurosurgeons Committee has a very important role in trying to promote these activities that are, in the end, EANS activities. So I want to start from the literature. I made this search on PubMed yesterday. So if we look for social media platform and neurosurgery, we can notice an increasing number of publications in the last years. Yesterday they were more than 100, with a peak during the COVID era, because probably the only positive aspect of the COVID era was to boost the online opportunities for young neurosurgeons, providing online meetings, e-learning platforms, and boosting also the social media networks and their role in advertising educational contents. So I think that in the last years, we assisted from an educational point of view to a paradigm shift from local education activities that were designed for a small number of attendees to now a global new model of educational activities that are potentially designed for a very large audience. And in fact, indeed, if we look at the EANS website under the education and research opportunities, there are a lot of activities that that are organized by the EANS. And if we want to reach a large audience, the social media platforms are mandatory. They have a very important role trying to spread these educational training and research opportunities to the largest possible audience of young neurosurgeons. And from this point of view, the EANS Young Neurosurgeons Committee has the role to try to advertise all these opportunities and to make young neurosurgeons closer to these EANS activities. And I want to thank again Marisa, not only for the invitation, but especially because she started with this kind of promotion of educational activities through the YNC, using also social media. So we are still continuing their work using social media accounts. So we have some YNC members who run different social media accounts. So for example, Diogo Bello is in charge for running the Twitter X account, Fabio Torregrossa the Instagram account, Cristina Aldea, the LinkedIn and Facebook account. And of course, the question is, why should we use these accounts? The answer is, of course, to try to increase the audience of young neurosurgeons and to make them closer to the EANS activity. So you know that every section chair, every committee chair is asked every year to write down a proper action plan for the next 2 years. And this is my action plan that I wrote this year as soon as I was elected, in which I wrote down, like Marisa did before, a special point to the development of a strategy for social media to increase the audience of young neurosurgeons and to advertise general EANS activities from a general point of view, but in details from the YNC point of view. The reason why we want to use this social platform is to increase, as I've already said, the audience and to promote YNC events, advertise and provide YNC educational and training opportunities, but also to try to involve young neurosurgeons in research activities of the YNC and of the EANS in general. So this is just an example how we use the social media, for example, in advertising our main annual event that will take place this week in Hamburg. It is the 13th annual EANS Young Neurosurgeons Meeting and Research Course. We advertised the event a lot, and we reached a total of 100 participants. We launched a call for abstract. We received 77 abstracts. Many of them will be presented orally or in the e-poster or video format, and special awards will be delivered to participants and will consist of the opportunity to attend other educational events organized by the YNC. And the social media had a very important role in reaching out the highest number of participants. This is the map of participants for this meeting. 20 countries will be represented from the south, from Malta to the north, to Denmark and Finland, but also from the west, Spain, Portugal, to the east, Latvia, Lithuania, Turkey. And if we consider also the faculty, you can see that we were able to involve more 23 countries that will be represented in this meeting. So the social media role is, from the Young Neurosurgeons Committee point of view, is to try to promote our events globally, as well as we are promoting in this moment the third World Young Neurosurgeons Congress that will take place in Sofia, partially overlapped with the EANS Annual Congress. This Congress will be organized together with the Asian Congress of Neurological Surgeons. Representative from the Young Neurosurgeons Committee of the all continental societies will be invited, so it will be a global event. And we will use, and we are already using the social media to advertise this event. And of course, apart from the events, social media are fundamental to advertise other educational activities like webinars. Today we are running the first webinar of the IM committees. As Young Neurosurgeons Committee, we already organized the first 2024 webinar, and two more have been organized during the 2023, and we were able to reach a peak of 200 participants just using social media to advertise these events. And we are scheduled 2 more webinars in the next month. Again, social media are important to advertise educational activities proposed by the Young Neurosurgeons Committee, because the YNC has special educational platforms that you can reach at this website address, youngneurosurgeons.ens.org, in which you can find news, the latest YNC publication, the YNC events, but also e-learning resources, including surgical videos and neuroanatomy atlas. For example, I want to share with you this 3D interactive neuroanatomy atlas that has been developed also with the help of one of the YNC members, in which you can examine anatomical landmarks, in this case for thoracic vertebra, but there are also videos regarding surgical approaches, so you can study anatomy in the retrosigmoid approach, in pterional approach, so you can learn more using these free educational tools that can be advertised using social media. And of course, again, another important activity that is run and that has been introduced by Marisa is the EANS Young Neurosurgeon Network. That is a global community, a global network similar to a social media platform, in which we are trying to involve young neurosurgeons and make them active inside the EANS family. This network is a global platform in which young neurosurgeons can share ideas, questions, experience, project. They can just send an email at info@ans.org, ask for become a member of the Young Neurosurgeons Network, and start working together together with the YNC. You know, the YNC is composed only by 15 members. It's difficult for young neurosurgeons to be involved in their activity, but now, thanks to the Young Neurosurgeons Network, all young neurosurgeons can become a part of the EANS family, cooperate with the YNC members, and be involved in different activities, from running the webinars to managing the social media accounts and so on. So this is a way to increase the audience of young neurosurgeons inside the EANS. And this is also a network in which young neurosurgeons can propose their research project, for example, and organize a cooperative research project like this one that have been already realized by the YNN, and that is a study that focused on the analysis of the outcome of surgery of juxtamedullary spine tumor, in which, thanks to the YNN, we were able to collect more centers to participate to the study, and in the end, we collected more than 600 cases of juxtamedullary tumors. So we ran this project. We will present the results during the meeting in Hamburg. And again, the YNN is a tool for spreading, for proposing surveys that can be related to the educational and training activities inside the EANS. So young neurosurgeons can be part of the YNN and propose their own survey that will be distributed by the normal EANS channel, by newsletter, but also by using social media. The last one that we distributed is about the fellowship training opportunities across Europe, and we are supposed to publish this survey trying to provide young neurosurgeons with a useful paper to analyze the current landscape about fellowship opportunities in Europe, and why not trying to help young neurosurgeons in finding their best fellowship program in Europe. And finally, I want to show another important program that was launched again by Marisa during the 2023 Congress in Barcelona. It is the Mentor program. This kind of program is run under the umbrella of the Young Neurosurgeons Network. Mentor is an acronym. It means mentoring, networking, and training on research methodology. So this is the picture of Marisa together with Evangelos Drosos, who is a member of the YNC, and he is in charge for the running of this program. And what it is, this is a program in which young neurosurgeons can propose their own research project. They can apply. The YNC can decide if the project is a valid project and can be run under the umbrella of the EANS. And after that, the young neurosurgeons become a mentee, and the YNC assign a mentor to him or her. So the mentor that is usually a member of the YNC will help the mentee in realizing this project, in designing the project, in contacting new centers for the organization, for example, of a multi-center study. The mentor will follow the mentee in realizing the study, in analyzing results, and also in disseminate these results, and in the end also in publishing these results. We have already run this, the first round of this program from June to September 2023, when Marisa was still the chair, and we received more than 30 applications. We selected 5 teams of mentors and mentees because these 5 teams presented 5 high-quality multi-center studies, and all these studies were presented at the EANS 2023 EANS Congress. 1 project was submitted for the EANS Research Fund, and 2 were submitted for publication. So we are using social media for promoting these opportunities for young neurosurgeons and to involve them even more in the EANS activities. And this is the example of one of these project that have been already submitted to Brain and Spine for publication. It was presented by Martin Tranchev, who is the mentee, who is also the first author of the paper, and Thomas Pierre is the mentor. He is a member of the YNC, and he is the corresponding author of this paper. So it's important important for us to advertise all these educational research and training opportunities for young neurosurgeons using social media. And why we are doing this, trying to involve as many young neurosurgeons as possible. We have already written the first editorial on this program that will be submitted in a few days to Brain and Spine, just to make young neurosurgeons aware of this possibility. So in the end, I want to conclude saying that today we have seen with the other presentation, the social media platforms are very important for sharing contents, but from the point of view of the young neurosurgeons, social media are very important for sharing especially educational training and research opportunities, with the final aim to increase the participation of the youngster to the EANS activities and to make them part of the big family that is the EANS, in which the teamwork is the most important thing to make everything successful. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Giovanni, for this really outstanding presentation. And I think that you and Maria, maybe you are interested by this question by Akanshka Agrawal, which says, thank you for your enlightening presentation. As a budding neurosurgeon, I'm keen to understand how we can bridge the gap between different age groups in our field through social media. Could you elaborate on strategies for fostering inclusive discussions and collaborations, considering the varying social media usage patterns among different age groups? I think this is a really good point. I'm not really sure, but I want to hear your comments on that. That we can completely bridge the oldest and the youngest people here, because maybe we are in different, we are in front of different attendees and the audience is different. But that's my impression. Please comment on that.
Yes, you're right. The audience can be different. For example, senior audience is more interested in reading important articles. On the other side, young people are more interested in looking for opportunities, events, courses, webinar, and so on. But I think that a good strategy to try to fill this gap is to be part of a family that can be your scientific society. I mean, I show you the Young Neurosurgeons Network that was launched by Marisa. It is a very good way to start to be part of the EANS, start understanding how to work inside the EANS, and trying to understand how to have relationship with senior, how to exchange your experience, talk with them. So you can be even more involved in the EANS activity if you are part of this kind of network. It is a social network, a real social network in which you can start getting closer to the senior EANS, so you can fill this gap between you and the senior expert. And then everything is easier, in my opinion.
And of course, I would add, Giovanni, that as we saw, different people of different age groups are active. Some are active on Instagram, others on Facebook, on LinkedIn, etc. So we have to implement a strategy that includes, for example, all those social media platforms in order to disseminate our message in all platforms so that we can reach the respective target audiences. Now, we have to tailor the content accordingly. And of course, we should have a content related to a matter of interest of both group ages. For example, spine surgery. Like you said, Giovanni, the seniors are interested more in reading, but the young neurosurgeons are maybe very active and be part of that paper. So we have to try to combine these things. And why not also try to engage them with certain tricks, let's say a quiz, a poll. I think that both groups would be responsive to that kind of posts. What else? Maybe, you know, I'm a communication professional, so I'm creating also already in my mind a video with interviews and stuff. Yes.
Well, I think that was already an interesting suggestion from you, Maria. But I must say that after this webinar, I became a little bit worried after this presentation, because I realized here that we are mainly neurosurgeons, but we need to be professionals here, because you have a target, you have an audience, you have techniques, you have times. So I'm a little bit worried that in the future maybe things will be not easier than this, but maybe a little bit more complicated.
Maybe more complicated, yes, maybe. But I think that all of you are being very supportive to what we have in mind, and always participating. And as we saw with the paradigm of naive, they are very, very active, and they have reached a lot of people. I mean, yes, if you take it seriously, can work wonders. Naive, do you have any suggestion about this?
When we started things, of course, we were lost at the beginning, but it's a learning curve, like the way I was describing it. The thing is that the environment in my training was very heavily research-based. So everything you do is you need a scientific backup. And that's why I was doing the research before going into the JNS. And then how did I convince Dr. Rutka? Because I had publication and I have the metrics, I have the numbers. And that's why it was convincing proposal that we should do it and implement it after doing the research. So, and when we had the milestone, like every year we should achieve this, we should target that. So for the EANS, I think the mentor project that you mentioned, Dr. Giovanni, is amazing. This is something we actually need here, something like that in Saudi Arabia. And definitely social media will play a big role in that, because one of the things in research collaboration you're going to have is the recruitment. And the recruitment is definitely going to be more through social media, because it's going to spread the word very quickly. And you will see the kick of the program once you get few papers out. Once you get few papers out, and you'll see the massive attraction. Most of the papers that I had on social media, actually, if you notice, there's 10 authors or 11 authors, and some of them medical students. And they reached to me through social media. We like your type of research, and we want to help out in data collection, doing analysis. Because that time there was no ChatGPT, so we had to analyze 5,000 tweets and looking at them manually to do qualitative analysis. My presence in social media definitely helped me a lot in recruiting students for my research project, whether in social media or even in endovascular.
And I'm thinking also that we could also bring together seniors with younger neurosurgeons with projects that combine the experience of the senior and the willingness and the desire of the youngest to be inspired with something. So This can be communicated as well, having, of course, on the core and its focus on a project that can combine these two.
And
I will say,
I was gonna mention very important point is that once you have like a 2-year metrics, then you have, when you upgrade things up, think about using these metrics to get sponsorship. So if you approach a company or like Brain Lab or someone like that, you utilize these metrics. Those are the numbers that they want to go into. Those are the metrics that they want to get the contact information, or they get the following numbers. And that's the moment where you convert this into a sponsored program or a campaign utilizing these metrics. So it's very important that you follow the engagement on these things.
I want to
even for the webinars.
Sorry.
Yeah, even for the webinar.
I wanted to make a comment on what Naif said before, that I think this is the communion point between senior and junior. He mentioned it helped me to recruit trainees or to recruit fellows, right? And that helped also fellows or trainees to find him. So at the end, this is the point in which both ages are even need the same tool, right? He needs it, or he uses it to recruit, and the young ones use it to find the mentor. Or so this is the point, I think.
Yeah.
yes, this is absolutely the point. Yes, because there are a lot of young people who wants to give their contribute and who are looking for a mentor, but it's difficult to find a mentor. It's not so easy. So thanks to this kind of program, it could be easier, especially because you have a junior mentor, because he is a member of the Young Surgeons Committee. So it is a senior, but not so senior. So he can guide these guys in working on their project, teaching basic research methodology, for example. So the role of the mentor is to guide these young people, usually also medical students, in entering in this big family of the EANS by performing their own research, and the mentor will assist them in doing this.
Well, I think this is very important because we are seeing here that through social media, we can also establish EANS as an ethic society, because you must have these strong ethics in order to believe in what you are doing and train and engage people in doing this kind of work.
I have one more question for Naif. It's about artificial intelligence. You said that artificial intelligence is going to change now the social media, or it's going to implement social media. And I wanted to ask you which platforms, tools, software you will recommend or you will give advice about to our membership, to our audience. Any advice?
Yeah, so most social media platforms right now are actually utilizing AI for their network. So if you look at Twitter right now, when Elon Musk took over, like the timeline changed based on algorithms, and he knows what you're watching, he knows what you're viewing. So the post that you're following comes up first. The same thing with TikTok, and that's what made TikTok goes viral, because it follows you through these deep learning network. And sometimes you think that they are listening to you, and they give you like customized videos based on preferences. What we are doing in our research, we're trying to create like a shortcut. Instead of doing manual analysis, we're using AI, for example, in analyzing the comments. Like if someone posted a complication about surgery, how can we screen it through 5,000 tweets? Right now with AI, we can do that. And that's what we did with microvascular decompression. In the microvascular decompression paper, we looked at the tweets pre-operative and post-operative, and we compared the sentiments. Amazing reduction from severe pain to reduction in pain in the comments after the surgery. But there was a spike in complication mentions after the microvascular decompression. So that's something, like, even without looking at clinical data, by just looking at the social media network, you have a good surgery that is effective, but it's still associated with complication compared to other minimally invasive options for trigeminal neuralgia. So we did that study just to illustrate it. How can we utilize that? How can we develop our own NLP algorithm to pick up any neurosurgical communications? How can we map out the language of neurosurgery? Because sometimes in our language, any AI system will not recognize it. Sometimes we say crane, we don't say craniotomy. These are the terminology that are specific for us. So how can we reach that level where we can train an AI model to understand our language, like the retractor's name and things like that? We can make our own custom-made language model for the communication and even for the dictations. So these are one of the things that in our mind to create something dedicated to neurosurgery to understand. And the other thing is content creation and data analysis. Like right now with the AI, the more you feed it with information, it can give you suggestion when to post, when to create give you some improvement in your content, checking the grammar. And the visuals also are going to be improved. But the other point that I was going to mention, since you guys are like in your multiple countries, definitely the biggest thing that is going to happen that will influence, I do think, surgical education is the virtual reality. Right now, when you see the projects that are being done by Meta, I don't know if you've seen the latest interview by Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Friedman on Meta, where they wear the glasses and they look exactly the same. Like when I saw the video, I can see like me and you guys are in the operating room, like discussing an intraoperative consult. What should I do with this case? So that's something that is gonna give social media a different perspective and a different view, and it's gonna open doors also for privacy concerns, security, and like ethics on whether we do it in the operating room or not. So it's nice to have that kind of insight to like for policy making, for preparing guidelines for it, and what should we do? Like for you as an association, what are the things that you'll expect and prepare yourself for such a innovation that will come soon? And it's going to come soon, because once I see like ChatGPT developed like 4 models in 1 year. And it's going to increase and increase. Right now, it's creating even videos.
That's what I was reflecting, that I asked you as a future and you reply me as a present. So it's not part of the future, it's part of the present. And I think we don't know, but a whole world is coming very soon, or is already here. And I think it's exciting to be part of this revolution, right? And as a society, as a neurosurgeon, as a professionals, we will have to do our best to dedicate it with the best purpose, right? So from my side, I think we had a good webinar, a great and amazing talks, and we can say now goodbye to our audience and also to our speakers. Thank you, Alessandro, Giorgio, Giovanni, Mattia, and Naif for accepting the invitation and for being part of this first webinar by IM committee, dedicated to not only to our members, but to develop better tools for our members. And I don't know if you want to add something. Thank you very much for this nice conversation and this nice webinar, for all your contribution.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.